careful with the coaches, James, said James. James suddenly let off James. A shower of James fell on the fat James. Nice new top, James. Henry and Gordon were alone with James. Although the fat controller was beginning to think well of him, whenever a chance came, the other engines would talk of nothing but booze. Remember the time one had to be used to get you out of trouble, James, they would tease. James tried to get his own back, talking about engines who got stuck in tunnels and shut up on hills. You talk too much, little James. A fine, strong engine like me has something to talk about. Think of that. I've pulled expresses for 2 years and have never once lost my way. Wake up, odd job, said Gordon next morning. It's nearly time for the express. They were all shining with lovely new paint. He was careful not to bump them, and they followed him smoothly into the station, singing happily, "We're going away, we're going away." "I wish I was going with you," said James. James had just brought the coaches to the platform when he heard a mournful noise. There was Gordon trying to sidle into the station without being noticed. "Is tomorrow, Gordon?" asked James. Just then the guard blew his whistle, and James thought they had better. James, go on, he puffed to James. Don't push, replied James. But James were grumbling too. Don't, James, so fast, don't go so, James. But James didn't, James. When at last they stopped at the next station, two coaches were beyond the platform. One day, James had to wait at the station till Edward and his coachman came in. This made him cross.
Late again.
Edward exploded. Old iron.
Why, Edward could beat you in a race any day.
Really? Said James. I should like to see him do it. Two boys were fiddling with James's box. Phew! Really? They tumbled off and ran when James caught it. What a lark! What a lark! Oh, let's hope, he chuckled to himself. What shall I do? I can't stop! Help! Help! What a lark! What a lark! Hey, what? Shut up, Edward. Shit. We're coming! We're coming! That was good! Old iron, my boss. The fat controller was waiting. A fine piece of work, he said. You shall go to the works and have your worn parts mended.
Nice.
Shut up. James was smoking the joint.
I smoke 2 joints when I get up. In the car I smoke 2 joints. I smoke 2 joints when I play video game. And at every 10,000 points I smoke 2 joints.
You smoke joints too much, little James, said Gordon. A fine, strong engine like me has something decent to smoke. Ooh, get me out!
Hello, Trevor, said James. You look as bright and cheerful as my red paint. Oh, I am, replied Trevor. What's that noise? It's the bees, laughed Trevor. They're all in these boxy things called box ones.
I'm a horrendous object!
Just then, the diesel engine hummed in. Buzzed away. They nearly made my eyes pop out.
Edward soon put a stop to their games.
What's up?
Duck, are you afraid of bees?
Oh, you're looking for Bugs Bunny bunting, bunting, bunting. Duck is gonna hunting just to get a rabbit.
Watch yourself!
Rabbit's going on again. What's up, Duck? Hey, look out!
Stop!
Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wouldn't care if hundreds were swarming around.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
I'd just blow smoke and make them
Buzz off, retorted Duck.
Hey, where is my song? At the end of the line, James left his coaches and got ready for his next train. Magic. What? Suddenly, Thomas began to feel a pain in his boiler.
Ah!
I would like to tell you the most beautiful story of my childhood.
Back to menu, back to menu, back to menu, back to menu.
Toby and Henrietta,
Don't come any closer, cause I'll...
they do look old-fashioned and need new old-fashioned paint. James was very rude whenever he saw them. Ugh, what dirty eyes, he would say. At last, Toby lost patience.
No breathing!
Ugh, what? Ugh, ugh. I am a splendid engine.
No!
Ready for anything. You never see my paint dirty. Oh, said Toby innocently, that's why you once needed laces. Boot to be ready, I suppose. James went redder than ever and snorted off.
Back to menu, back.
At the end of the line, James left his coaches and got ready for his next train. It was Michael Rosen, stopping at every station to pick up and set down trucks.
No!
James hated Michael Rosen. Said Michael. Dirty trucks from dirty sides.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Starting with only a few, he picked up more and more trucks at each station. He picked up more and more trucks at each station.
Look,
James,
you've left your
trucks.
ball outside the window.
On, yelled the trucks. I've got to
Keel over and die.
groaned James.
Huh?
To the station they thundered. Disaster lay ahead. Something sticky splashed all over James. He splashed all over James and was black from smoke box to cab.
That's crazy!
He was more dirty than her.
Seeing as you were naughty and got one of my sleeping policemen stuck in a pipe, you are on do-right.
Silence!
Back to menu, back to menu, back to menu, back to menu,
to smoke a pipe.
menu, back to menu, back.
Hard luck, Dave. Always knew you were a bit weak.
Huh?
The next poop was made by a very old engine. What rubbish, said James. I can do it better than you. I should like to see you do it. Percy remained respectfully silent. James was eating in a frying pan. Suddenly the signalman died. There was James snorting away down the line. All traffic halted. Then he told the fireman,
You gotta use protection. Even if it's a quickie, wrap that sticky.
The signalman answered the telephone. Yes?
Hello, I need to speak to somebody.
God damn it!
James was singing.
Buffalo soldier in the heart of America, stolen from Africa, brought into America.
Suddenly he was going faster and faster. James came rushing through much too fast. He was frightened. His brake blocks were
Oh, my pancreas.
James lay in the field all day, and the cow farted all over him. Disgusting, said James. Bother those trucks and their magic tricks. Thomas pushed the breakdown train alongside. Phew, remarked Thomas. What a funny smell. Thomas puffed away. Oh dear, he thought, I shall never get out. And he never did.
Henry and when Thomas left the yard to run his branch line, they missed him very much. You don't understand. We tender engines have a position to keep up. It doesn't matter where you go, but we are important. And for Sir Topham had to make us do shunting, fetch coaches, and go on some of those dirty sidings, it's not the proper thing. Thomas chuckled and went off with Annie and Clarabelle. Look, called some boys. Oh, it's only Gordon, back to front. Hello, called Thomas. Playing tank engines? Sensible engine. Take my advice, up your tender and have a nice bunker. Gordon said nothing. Even James laughed when he saw him. Take care, hissed Gordon. You might stick too. No fear, chuckled James. I'm not so fat as you. I mustn't stick, thought James. He stopped on just the right place to balance the table. It could now swing easily. Gordon arrived in time to see everything. James turned much too easily. The wind puffed him round like a top. He couldn't stop. Well, well, said Gordon. Are you playing roundabouts? Poor James, feeling quite giddy, rolled off to the shed with a word.
Next morning, James's driver was suddenly taken ill. He could hardly stand. James didn't realize his driver was just trying to get a day off work. James was impatient. Suddenly, the signalman shouted. And James thought they had better go. Suddenly, he was going faster and faster. He realized that he had no driver. What shall I do? I can't stop. Help! Help! The fat controller was having breakfast. He was eating toast and marmalade. Suddenly, he heard an extraordinary noise. Whee! Hello. You know what? I'd give up. It was 2 days since the Berlin Wall collapsed. James hated revolution. Wake up, James, said Gordon next morning. It's nearly time for the express. What are you doing? I'm going to spin round like the magic roundabout. Faster. 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 James went to get Gordon's coaches. They were all shouting, and they followed him smoothly into the station, singing happily. Everyone said thank you to James. And the fat conductor was very impressed. Well, he said, would you like a sausage? But I'm already a sausage, sir. Well, well, said Gordon. Did you like the you two who told that? No, everyone was laughing at me. The fireman gave him a nice long joint, and the driver said, I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful coat of... Don't be such a bitch about being rude. Did you two poop?